concept was so easy to grasp, but it was my disbelief that blocked me from embodying it. What is going on, my friends? Rogelio Diaz here, and today's video is titled 10 Lessons Ayahuasca Taught Me. And this is going to be a series, my friends. So today I'm going to share with you lesson 1. So without further ado, let's dive into it. So one of the biggest lessons that I received while in ceremony with ayahuasca was this download, this message. It was so clear. Everything is right if you trust it, right? If you just trust it, everything is perfect. It's perfect for you. And this download came through while one of the curanderos, right? One of the people, the main people leading the ceremony, they stopped playing some of the music that was going on, and they said to just sit, to just be there in the moment, right? And they asked this simple question: what are you in a hurry for? You have to be somewhere. Is there stuff you have to do? And they were being funny, but it was true as well, right? Because we tend to always be in a hurry, and we tend to always find something is wrong with the moment, right? And that's also what they were referring to. Like it's so easy for us to doubt what's happening in our lives and our reality, right? But if you just trust it, if you really believe that everything is right, it will be. Why? Because you're going to find the purpose and the lesson behind it, right? So even, again, when I was there in ceremony, I was in a hurry. I was in a hurry to go to the bathroom. I was in a hurry just to write stuff down. But it was just a reflection of my life, right? Because naturally I'm in a productive state, and what that curandero said really reminded me of what's important, right? And it's that moment, the now moment. So I think I contemplated on this message for about 15 minutes. I'm just there, heavy in the medicine. And I realized, like, he's right. He's right. What am I in a hurry for? Like, there's nothing wrong with this moment. And if I trust it, it's right, because it's just going to lead me to the next and the next and the next. So if right now you're in a state of disbelief of where you're at in your current reality, I entice you to trust it. I entice you to believe that where you're at right now, it's going to take you exactly where you need to be in the next moment, or tomorrow, or in a month, or in a year from now. The problem is we have so much doubt in that the universe has our back, in ourselves, in our capabilities, in our gifts. And that's why we live in a state of disbelief most of the time. But if you believe everything is right, and you trust it, you're going to find the good in every moment. You're going to find the lesson in every moment. It's just a perspective shift, my friends. And this can take you so far. Because when you're in the dark, you're going through like a dark night, or you're in an undesirable moment, you ask yourself, can I trust this is for my highest good? Watch how fast your frequency shifts, my friend. And just to add on to that lesson, I want to share with you a quick story. Me and my friend, we were in Costa Rica, right? This was after ceremony, and you get tested intensely after ceremony. And we had a car that we rented, and we were driving just to get some water, to get some groceries. And I'm driving, and I go across this bump. I don't know if you've ever been in Costa Rica, but the roads, they're tricky. You have to use every skill that you've learned when it comes to driving in Costa Rica. So I hit this bump, and you hear a loud boom underneath the car. And I'm like, Spirit, please don't let this be nothing serious. Don't let it be nothing serious, please. And I continue to drive for another 5 minutes. And in the middle of an intersection, the car just stops. Right there. It just stops. I'm like, what? I'm pressing the gas pedal. Nothing is happening. I have no idea what happened. and there's traffic behind us, there's traffic in front, there's traffic to the left, everywhere. And I have never been in a situation like this, and neither has my friend, right? We just wanted to get some groceries and go home to our Airbnb. And we got out the car, and there were some really nice people there to help us. Thanks, Spirit. There were some really nice people there to help us. And we actually stopped, where the intersection was, to the right of us, there was a line of taxi drivers. The blessing. That was a blessing. So one of the taxi drivers came. He actually helped us move the car into a parking lot where we could actually assess what happened, right? What was the damage. And he ended up actually finding out, and he told us that there was a leakage with one of the cartridges from the oil, right? Like one of the oil, some of the oil spilled from one of the cartridges. And that's why we couldn't move the car. That's why it wouldn't work, because that's actually a common issue with the cars, like driving in Costa Rica. So but that was the first time that happened to us. So we were freaking out. We were, in a state of stress, frustration. We were tired. We had little to no sleep, and it was like the ultimate ground of surrendering. And that was the lesson. Honestly, me and my friend, we really believed that, and we ended up surrendering like never before, right? And we had to step into a role of leadership, because we could have easily gone into a state of victimhood. We could have easily said, "Why, Spear? Why is this happening to me? Of course this would happen to me." And for a minute, those were the thoughts that were coming up for me, and there was resistance to surrender. But then it clicked, and my friend, this person has worked with Aya several times, and she said, "Roy, this is the real test. This is the true test." So I'm like, okay. I listened, and I surrendered, and I realized there was nothing wrong. Just trusted it. And that's the download that I shared with you today. That's what kept playing in my mind. It kept replaying. Everything is right if you trust it, Roy. Everything is right if you trust it. So that's what I did. So instead of playing a victim, I took a role of leadership, and the taxi driver took us to an ATM. We paid the guy. He took us to our Airbnb. Handled. And then the next morning, we had to call the rental car to get a new car because it wouldn't work. Handled. Right? Instead of complaining and playing victim and saying, "Why me?" you take control, you take initiative by your response, by being the observer, accepting what is, and then taking action. And that was one of the biggest lessons I learned afterwards, after working with Aya. And it's something that you can use every day. You can use that every day. And by the way, guys, what ended up happening is, even though our car, broke down and it didn't work, we ended up receiving an even better car the next day. And I realized every time something seems challenging, something seems like it's going against you, right? It's not. It's preparing you for something better. Several times after working with Aya, this has happened. Every time I was like in a stressful situation or in something that I felt didn't look good on the surface, I always received something better. Something better came in. So everything is right if you trust it. And this is something, guys, that if you really adopt as a core value for the rest of your life, not only will you avoid victimhood, but you will continuously step into your power. Continuously. Because you realize how much in control you really are. And you remain the observer. If you can remain detached, you're going to make more intelligent choices because they're not coming from a fear state or a lower vibrational state. So I hope this helps, my friends. This is, again, lesson 1 out of the 10 lessons that I'm going to be sharing with you in the series. And I hope this helps you. I really do. This is, I feel like we're in a state, or in a current phase of new beginnings, of really magical, amazing new beginnings. So trust it. Everything is right if you trust it. Much love, and until next time.